I'm officially a consultant on this. I think that makes it sound better. Hi, my name's Keri Cairns. I'm from Belfast in Northern Ireland. Currently live in England, and I am a zoologist. I've worked with primates at various sanctuaries, including one in England, in Cornwall, for about 9 years. Worked with woolly monkeys and capuchin monkeys. During that time I spent time in Peru working with woolly monkeys. Rescued woolly monkeys out there building enclosures. Then I have since done work as a consultant for IPPL, including 6 weeks in Thailand, helping oversee the expenditure of a $60,000 grant from IPPL to a sanctuary in Thailand, which included designing some new enclosures and teaching sort of enrichment to the staff there. Then I've most recently been in Cambodia for 3 weeks, investigating the trade in long-tailed macaques, which are basically taken from the wild, put into these farms, bred there, exported out then for the pharmaceutical industry. What I've discovered since I've got into that was it's actually the biggest trade in primates that's ever existed. 2009. The total since 1977, when the records I can see started from CITES, the CITES Trade Database. 2009 has finally surpassed the 1 millionth legally traded macaque. Roughly about 3 million of these guys in the wild. So massive trade, horrendous suffering. While I was also in Cambodia, I did also investigate orangutan boxing shows, which occur at a place called Kong Safari World on the border between Cambodia and Thailand. I also then visited Safari World in Bangkok, which also has an orangutan boxing show. Despite having had all their orangutans confiscated and repatriated to Indonesia in 2006, they still go for it. So what I actually saw there was lots of hair pulling, lots of abuse of the orangutans publicly on stage.
And what are we doing about that?
That is a tricky one. A delegation from CITES, Convention on Trade in Endangered Species, and the Great Ape Survival Project visited both safari worlds in 2007, and their statement in the report at the end is that there is actually no legal means of confiscating them orangutans from Kong Safari World. Possible that we may be able to chase up Safari World Bangkok and put pressure on them. The CITES meeting in 2013 is actually in Bangkok, so I believe that might be a good stepping board to try and get them to just stop it once and for all. When I say boxing shows as well, it's not that they're actually fully hitting each other. It's very slapstick, very well choreographed, doof doof doof, you know, spin kicks and falling down and pretending to be knocked out, things like that. So, but just horrendous, really, very degrading for the orangutan. Obviously a very endangered species, you know, an ape like us, and yeah, just horrendous to see. It's horrendous to see them having their hair pulled about. By the time they reach 10, their showmanship days are over. They have up to another 40 years to live out their life. I don't know what happens when they retire. I can find no evidence of retired orangutans at Safari World Kong. They had 2 that I've seen in Safari World Bangkok, but it's either possible they're euthanized or worse.
What's worse?
I don't know if they are specifically involved in traditional medicine in some way, but it wouldn't surprise me if they were. There's also a big trade across that border. The place is used as a front for trading other animals, I believe, such as tigers, in which there's a large profit. So, not only the orangutans, but tigers and whatever else you want to ship across borders illegally. It's the Safari World Kong is actually connected to a casino and resort, which has a duty-free shop. The duty-free trucks bringing the alcohol from Thailand can pass the border without checks. So, you know, put all your beer on top of a tiger or a couple of orangutans and ship them across the border without any trouble. It's crazy, really, crazy. With the long-tailed macaques, I think the way forward, basically they're seen as a pest species.
Because of the numbers?
Because they're always found close to humans, they're actually known as an edge species, so they're not found right in the depths of the forest. They gather around the edge of the forest, around mangroves, you know, just anywhere that's sort of an edge. And we, by fragmenting forest, split it all up, you know, make a settlement in the middle. They're going to come around, scavenge from, you know, our rubbish tips, from the gardens. The main problem, the main reason that they've been described as pests is they've made it onto the IUCN's 100 top worst invasive species list. They're the only primate on there, and that is because they were introduced to Mauritius, which has a very unique flora and fauna in the Indian Ocean there, by Dutch and Portuguese sailors in the 16th century, and they totally adapted to that environment, totally different diet, everything. They then have been accused of causing the decline in certain indigenous bird species there, such as the pink pigeon, although a study recently did discover that only 9% of pink pigeon deaths are due to predation, and they're not just the macaques but also other introduced species by man, such as mongooses, rats and cats. So they're not strictly that bad as a pest species, you know, but what we need to do is improve that. You know, they've shown tool use, you know, shows incredible intelligence. They have regional variety of behaviours. You have little cultural differences. So we have a place in Thailand, Lopburi, they actually use human hair and other fibres to floss their teeth. When the babies are watching mothers, the mothers slow down, and this teaches them this. Now, I don't know if someone deliberately went out of their way to try and teach a monkey to do that, or they've had the forethought to think, actually, get these bits of teeth, you know, maybe in 20 years time I'll be in dentures, but if I don't keep this up, unlikely. But yeah, also they use stones to break open shellfish around the coast. Groups live in caves in some places. They're almost like a little primitive version of us, you know, I think. They're very adaptable, very intelligent, very social, and they're just being reaped out of the wild. They're just being completely vacuumed up by the large pharmaceutical companies. And I think the way to counteract that is to get them out there, get people knowing this, and hopefully we can change the mindset there. Cool.